Alright, this is a load I'm hauling here. Just a 3/4 ton Dodge, 360 gas, 2-wheel drive truck on a gooseneck trailer. I'd say probably 9,000 pounds combined between the truck and the trailer. And then just guessing, my truck probably weighs about 8,000. So I would say around 17,000 combined gross vehicle weight altogether. So anyway, I just figured I'm gonna try to get a dash shot and kind of get my gauges in it, and just kind of give you all an idea of how everything does pulling a load. And I think I'm gonna run it on stock some. I don't know if I might bump it up to tow and just, but anyway, just gonna kind of show people how it pulls a load like this. So anyway, we'll get started here. Alright, we're gonna get going here. I'm trying to get a shot of my CTS the best that I can, but I think there's going to be some glare on it. This is fuel pressure, exhaust gas temperature, my transmission temperature. And boost is over here. And this is accelerator pedal position percentage. But I don't know how well you'll be able to see those. They seem to have a glare on them. So I'm just running on power level 0, which is stock. Truck's got an air dog fuel system, a 4-inch downpipe into a 5-inch exhaust, and that goes into 6-inch stacks. I built the transmission myself, as I mentioned in another video, so it's got some good parts in it. It's got an AFE intake. And I think that's most of anything that would help it out. It should run pretty similar to a healthy stock truck, other than the transmission's going to be a little more efficient. It's about 90 degrees and humid out, so I've got the air on. And hopefully you can see my tach and speedometer. Getting ready to go up a hill here. It's a pretty good little hill to take off on. As soon as traffic clears up. Starting to level out some now. Most of that was about 80% throttle. It's just 235 horsepower stock, 460 foot-pounds. It's got 6 285 tires on it, so, and 355 gears, so it's fairly high geared as far as that goes. That doesn't doesn't help it any. But one of my points of this video is kind of just to show that these trucks stock, even though, you know, this is a 2001 model, so I guess it's about 16 years old now. You know, even a truck this old in decent shape, you know, will do a lot of work. And this is not the heaviest load I've hauled, and I know people haul a lot more than this all the time. But really, it does pretty good for just being 235 horsepower. That's not a whole lot of power when you think about it. And the new trucks have 400 or better. We're in town now, so we'll be stopping and starting. Tell the torque converter is a lot better than a stock when it's actually putting some power on the ground. Keeps the RPMs down, keeps it from just revving and not going anywhere. On the stock setting, seems like I'll see up 1150 or so if I'm lugging it in overdrive. Other than that, around 1,000, 1,100 is the most you'll see. But I can also run level 2, and EGTs really stay about the same, and it does pull quite a bit better on level 2. I'm gonna say the biggest difference is when you're running along in overdrive, you can really tell that it has a lot more torque. It'll hold overdrive way better on level 2 than it will on 0. Transmission temperature is 147 degrees. It'll go up some before we get through town. It usually cools back down some once you get out on the road and the converter's locked up. Fuel pressure really doesn't go under 16, and the boost, most I'll see on it's probably around 30. It's got a J hook on the turbo, which increases the boost. locked in third right now, so that keeps the temperatures down. I think it goes up the most either when you're pulling a hill with the torque converter unlocked, or you're sitting at a stoplight in drive. That's when it seems to really build the most heat. Since the torque converter has a tighter fluid coupling than a stock one, it's trying to pull harder when you're just sitting at a stoplight in drive, so it creates a little more heat, I think, than a stock torque converter would. But once you start accelerating, I think the more efficient fluid coupling probably creates a little less heat. One thing I noticed with the tighter torque converter on level 0, the truck is on the stock fueling level. It's probably a little more laggy than a bone stock truck with a stock transmission, and it may not even feel quite as peppy because it has to build a little boost and start making power to make to overcome the torque converter trying to hold it back, if that makes sense. On a stock truck, the torque converter is pretty loose, and they allow the engine to rev pretty easily, so it really gets up into the power quick. But now once you bump up the fueling just a little, it makes all the difference. But once you get rolling, it puts the power down a lot better. With light throttle, it says 40% on my accelerator pedal right now. It keeps accelerating and it pretty well stays in the meat of the power band. I can let out a little and it just keeps on pulling pretty much. Then once the torque converter locks up, it just lopes along for the most part. It's locked right there. I'm turning 1400 RPM. I'm still in town. I'm in third gear. The torque converter locks automatically in third once I get over a certain speed, depending on my throttle input, and it pretty much always stays locked in overdrive. The factory programming has it shifting. It'll lock up in third, and then it unlocks for just a split second, shifts to overdrive, and locks right back up. So it really helps with putting the power down. My old 94 truck, the factory programming only has it locking the torque converter once it gets to overdrive. So my transmission temperature was up about 163 just a second ago. It's dropping now because we've gained a little speed and the torque converter's locked up. Got some people slowing down up here. I'm in overdrive now. The torque converter locked, running 45. We're kind of coming out of town. It'll lug along at this RPM pretty good, as long as you don't hit any big hills. It doesn't like to accelerate too good, but it's only turning 1150 or so right now RPM. You can see it's pulling up, making about 7 or 8 pounds of boost. Gonna come up to a stoplight here. I've got to make a right hand turn and it'll be pretty flat. I may put it on the floor and we'll just see how it does. Like I said, we're on the stock setting, so it's not going to be fast, but 160 miles an hour. Not too bad. Transmission temperature is 160 after that little acceleration, and it's already dropping back down. Turning about 1400 RPM. I'm gonna have to slow down. These people we're in a 55, but we're going about 45 now. These threads and people are you know, really modifying their trucks to, you know, for hauling or whatever, or they're worried about an older truck not being able to pull a camper or something like that. But, and you know, they're not going to pull with these new 400 horsepower trucks if they're stock. But one of the purposes I feel of this video is just to show that they haul the weight just fine if you're not in a big hurry, and a few modifications, it really makes all the difference too. We're on a pretty good little rolling hill here, drop down to third, but I'm actually gaining a little speed, but I've got a turn here. You know, the 7.3 power strokes, stock Duramax, stock Cummins trucks, they all pull just fine, really. On my trans temp there, but as soon as the torque converter locked, it started dropping right back down. think one of the biggest advantages of some of the newer trucks, especially with an automatic, is that they have, you know, 5 and 6 speed transmissions, and I do think there's an advantage to that when you're pulling a load. Not too much empty, but you know, you've got more gears to split when you're hauling. Basically just more efficient use of the torque. I also think these trucks like this one with an automatic are suited pretty well with 410s if you're just mainly on county roads and highways. If you're on the interstate, the 355s are pretty nice, but the overdrive in these transmissions is pretty high, so the lower rear end ratio would help it some around here. Almost got to 180 there. Like I said, that's where it gets the hottest, especially if you have to climb a few hills with the torque converter unlocked consecutively like that. I had to come up a pretty good little grade there, and then slow down and make a turn, and come right back up another one. So that's usually what heats it up the most. Main thing is it comes right back down. I really don't get worried about it until it gets up around 200, and even at that you're probably okay. But I prefer to run it as cool as possible. I try to stay with the torque converter locked up. Sometimes I know I'm going to hit a hill, I go ahead and give it a little throttle and get it up to the point where it will lock the torque converter in third. You know, then just roll on over the hill with the converter locked, and that keeps the heat down. See, we're pulling along at 1200 RPM here, going up a little hill. Got that 9412 valve, and that's kind of my hot rod. This one I mainly want to be reliable, and I have a work truck, so I don't really even drive this one to work as a daily commuter. Mainly just use it for hauling stuff to go trail riding with our side-by-sides. And one other thing I'll mention, some of you might notice that I don't have the simulators on the wheels anymore, the chrome hubcaps. The back ones were good, but the front ones, all the clips were broke, and I couldn't, the center cap would hold them on the wheel, but they would squeak, and it was just driving me nuts. So I bought these new tires, Mastercraft Corsair AXTs. And before I got my old tires took off, I just went ahead and painted the wheels black, and I've got the center caps on with no simulators. So I think I like it pretty good like this anyway, and those simulators are hard to come by, and they're usually expensive if you find them. So I'm guessing it's probably going to stay like this. So we'll see if we can unload this whole green truck. It runs pretty good, but the transmission is out of it. It's got a little bit of reverse, not much. I really haven't driven it, so I think it had enough drive to pull up on the trailer, but it wouldn't back up out of where it was sitting where I was at when I went to get it. So we'll see. I think it'll back off the trailer. I don't know how much driving around it'll do, but anyway, I'm gonna get her off of there.